What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. These will never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.
Hey, welcome to tonight's program. I want to basically discuss tonight the last golf lesson that you're ever going to need. So thank you for joining me. My name is Todd Graves, co-founder of Graves Golf, and I'm here to help you finally solve the thing that you're here for, is simplify your golf swing and show you some very important things that I think will change the way that you look at the way you play golf and the golf swing. I'm here to simplify your life, by the way. Now, one of the things I like to do in these programs is there is a chat that's going on the whole time. I do these live for a reason. My team likes to join me because I get to interact with you during the program, and I love to interact with you. I love to hear your stories. I like to see your thoughts, and I like to interact with you and your questions throughout the program. So feel free to go into the chat. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be talking to you in that chat and asking you questions, so make sure you pay attention to the chat as well. But the very first thing I want to talk about is the reason you're here. And that's for me to help you simplify your golf swing. And there's two main things I'm going to do for you tonight. These are the expectations you can have from me. Number one, I'm going to show you a simple way to hit a golf ball called the single plane swing. That's what number one. And number two, I'm going to show you the way you can absolutely learn it. And if you do what I tell you tonight, this will be the last golf lesson you will ever need, and you'll start playing the best golf of your life. That's a big promise that I have for you tonight. But let me tell you about my story, and the reason I'm standing in front of you tonight is over 30 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you're sitting. I was frustrated. I had basically, and I tell people this all the time, I had returned from the Asian Professional Golf Tour. I wasn't a great player on the tour, and I said to myself, I have to become a better player. I have to become a better golfer. So I started traveling around the United States looking for instructors, and I tell you what, I worked with the best instructors in the world for 3 straight years. And I tell people this all the time, that no one has spent more money on golf instruction than me, because I was spending a lot of money traveling around the world to see if I could get a better golf swing and become a better player. 3 years into that, working with the best instructors in the world, I was a worse golfer. Matter of fact, I was that close to quitting. I was frustrated, I was confused. And I remember one day, I was on my last leg, and I'm sitting in a studio in Dallas, Texas, and I'm working with a very well-known instructor in his studio. And one of the things he had me doing was the conventional golf swing, and he was trying to show me some things about what he wanted me to do in the swing. And I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I don't know how many of you can go into the chat there and tell me how many of you have had golf lessons before. I looked at golf lessons like they were whack-a-mole. Like they were telling me one thing and it would cause another whole problem. And then another instructor would tell me another thing and it would cause another whole problem. I could not figure it out. I don't know if any of you are doing that right now. You might be searching YouTube and having that same experience, or you may have worked with some instructors and you just can't seem to get better. And that's where I was. And I was sitting in the studio and I just could not figure it out. And I remember, the reason I was sitting there is because of my experience on the Asian tour. I was playing in the middle of Asia, and I knew I was standing on the 18th fairway in India, of all places in the world to be playing golf. I'm in New Delhi, standing on the 18th hole, and it was the finish of my second round. And as the round progressed, and I don't know if you guys have ever played golf overseas, but golf courses aren't quite as nice as they are here in the U.S. There was cobras and black mambas and snakes in the rough. Matter of fact, my caddies would not even go look for my golf ball. If you missed the fairway, they're like, good luck, ball's gone. I could be looking at my ball in the rough, they're like, we're not even going there. And so by the end of that round, I was petrified to miss a fairway. I was petrified to hit a golf shot. I remember standing on the 18th tee in India, and I'm standing there like this with my driver, about to hit my last shot. I've got to make par on the last hole to make the cut, and I'm frozen. I can't move. I am literally frozen. And I said to and I don't even remember finishing the golf hole. Somehow I make a par on the last hole. And I remember walking off that tee box, or that green on the last hole. A good friend of mine named Todd Hamilton was there on the edge of the green. And I said, I don't ever want to feel like that ever again. I was petrified to play this last hole. That is why I'm standing in front of you today. It was that moment that I had, petrified to play golf because my swing had failed me. Over time, I lost all the confidence in the world. Golf was not fun anymore for me. It was, I'd get on the golf course and it was like, when is my swing gonna fail me? I couldn't trust it anymore. That might be why you're here today, is you're like, I've got to find something to trust me. That's what put me on a mission and a journey to find an easier way. Then I spent 3 years getting frustrated with instructors until one day. I was sitting in my apartment in Dallas, Texas, and a good friend of mine named Matthew Lane, who I'd played college golf with, who played on the Canadian Tour, came in my office and he put a videotape on my desk and he goes, you got to see this tape. He goes, you got to see this guy. It's Mo Norman, watch this. And he puts the tape on that desk and I watched Mo Norman hit a golf ball. And I've never seen a simple, more effective way to hit a golf ball than what I was seeing on that tape. And Matthew, who I respected immensely as a player, Matthew won the New Zealand Open in 1998. Matthew says to me, he goes, Todd, this guy he's the best I've ever seen. And for Matthew Lane, this guy who was one of the best golfers I knew at the time, to say that to me, I was like, this guy's got to be something great. He goes, Todd, I've never seen anybody hit a ball like this guy. And his name was Mo Norman. And here's a picture of me with Mo. I went on a mission and I drove to meet Mo Norman and became his protege. He mentored me on what he was doing to hit a golf ball as well as he did. And I want to tell you tonight, if you will follow what I'm showing you tonight in this program, I'm going to lay it out for you, exactly what he showed me. You're going to say a couple of things to me by the end of the night. The first thing you're going to say to me is, it can't be that simple. That's what you're going to say. The second thing you're going to say to me is, Todd, this is so common sense. Why doesn't everybody do it this way? And the third thing that I'm going to show you tonight is I'm going to show you how to learn this. And in the process I'm going to show you to learn it, you're going to say to me, why doesn't everybody learn it this way? Right? That's what I'm going to do for you. And that's going to put you on the path that I went on. And why I'm standing in front of you tonight is to show you an easier swing and an easy way to learn it and put you on the path of playing the best golf of your life. So let me put a couple things on the board before we get started, and I'll start showing you the swing. The first thing I want to show you is something really simple, and it's just the single plane swing. I'm going to show you the single plane swing. Okay, so that's one of my missions tonight, is to show you the single plane. The thing about the single plane, there's a concept I want you to understand about the single plane, is one very important concept, that everything I show you that's going to be related to the single plane is to help you simplify the most important moment of the golf swing. What's the most important moment? You guys can put it in the chat if you'd like to. The most important moment that we're all trying to figure out is the moment of impact, right? When we strike the ball, so impact. So, everything that I teach you in the swing tonight about the single plane swing, every element of this swing is to improve your ability to get to the most important moment, simplifying that moment. And by the way, if you guys watch me tonight in the show and you say, I don't want to learn the single plane swing, I don't really care about this, and you go work with an instructor, which is fine, you guys have to do whatever you got to do. But if you go to that instructor, whoever it is, and he's not helping you get to impact, he's not helping you, right? I'm just going to put that out there for now. If you're going to ever work with anybody other than us on your swing, make sure those instructors are helping you get to impact, because that's the only thing that's going to help you. So that's the goal, is to get you to impact. So that's what I'm going to teach tonight. Then the second thing I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you how. I'm going to teach you how to do this, how to learn the single plane swing in a perfect way. Okay, in a perfect way to learn it. Now, let's go through the single plane swing. I want to explain it to you. And by the way, in the chat, if you want to throw the chat back up here, how many of you are seeing me for the first time? Just kind of, you can give me a thumbs up, or just say okay, or give me a one in there. How many of you are seeing me for the very first time? Maybe you're new to the single plane swing, you bought the pocket guide. I'd like to kind of get an idea of how many people are brand new to maybe meeting me here for the first time. Just put a 1 in there in the chat. So if you're learning the single plane swing the first time, let me go through the basic concepts here. You've learned most likely the conventional swing, and let me show you what that is. The conventional golf swing is this. And you guys can kind of follow along here, because what they taught you is to stand and then hang your arms straight down below your shoulders. So they basically call this the athletic position. You've probably learned that. And then you grip the club. So you basically hang your arms down and grip the club. And what you get is you get the arms hanging down, and you get the club shaft on a secondary plane. So it's really a 2-plane position, because the arms are on one plane and there's an angle, and the club shaft is on a second plane. Everybody get that, okay? So that's a thumbs up right there, okay? Now the problem with 2 planes is that you can never impact on 2 planes, because when you take this club back, there's quite a bit of mass on the end of this stick, and you take it to the top, and when you swing this mass around your body in a circle, it's gonna try to align. This mass is gonna pull out on the arms. It's gonna try to align with the mechanisms that are swinging it, which is your arms. So what happens is this angle has to be increased. You have to release this angle, and now you have to create a line with the arms. And you'll notice I'm too close to the ball when I do this. So if I set up conventionally, I'm really too close to the ball to allow this lineup to occur. So what happens when the club's trying to line up with my arms, I have to make room. So what do? I lift the body, I turn, I spin my body, and now I have to both lift the body and try to line up the arms in the impact. Now, not only is that complicated, right, and only a small percentage of people in the world ever learn how to do this. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a statistic. The average male score has been 97 for 70 years. In other words, golfers have not improved in 70 years, the average male golfer, right? So you can see that method of golf is keeping a lot of people confused. 1 million golfers quit playing golf every single year because it's so damn hard, right? So what people are doing is they're starting in this, what I call the 1 mistake, and I'm gonna explain that in a minute. They're starting in this very compromised 2-plane position, and then they're having to compensate for that position in a swing. If you're having back pain, give me a thumbs up. This is why you have back pain, because what you're doing is you're swinging the club down as you move up, and you're compressing the spine and you're rotating. It's called shear. So this is what's happening in conventional golf. This is what's been going on. Well, let me show you what happens with a single plane swing. And this is where I get to the point where you're gonna why doesn't everybody do it this way? Well, notice impact. If I'm impacting on a higher plane, right? Why wouldn't I just start on the same exact plane I'm gonna impact, right? Instead of hanging my arms down here on 2 planes, why wouldn't I put them on the same exact plane, give myself some room, and now take the club back and down on the exact same plane? I know you're gonna say, why? That makes so much sense. But see, people don't understand that this hanging the arms down creates a major mistake. It creates a spatial problem. I can't swing this club around my body without jumping. And so now this whole idea of hanging the arms straight down is the 1 mistake being taught in golf. And then everything that we compensate for is happening from this mistake. Once we correct this mistake, everything gets easier. And by the way, if I gave you a stick, just a stick, I pulled a straight stick off of a tree, and I said, hit that thing on the ground, you wouldn't do this. My grandkids don't do this. They go like this. They point the stick at what they're hitting. Well, that's the natural way to hit something, right? So this is a natural way of playing golf. And now it makes everything easier. You know what it simplifies? Impact. Because I start and return to the same exact plane at impact. So that's what I'm gonna show you today. I'm gonna show you the exact motion of a single plane swing. And let's just kind of go through it. So the first thing I wanna do for you is I wanna show you that every element of this swing, every piece of it is for this right here. Every piece helps me with impact, because everything I want to do in the swing is going to help me hit a golf ball, right? That's all I want to do is hit the golf ball solid and straight. So let's go through what the single plane swing really is, and I'll go through the elements of it. The first thing I want to show you is just the alignments of the body that are helping me get to impact. But before I do that, I've got to show you impact. Let's look at a perfect impact position, and I'll show you how simple it is to get there with a single plane swing. So instead of sitting like this in a conventional swing, notice in a conventional swing how my shoulders are very level, my arms are hanging down, and I'm kind of just standing here. That's what they teach, hang the arms down like an athlete. And then I have to go to impact. Well, watch impact. Impact, body goes into a tilt, you go into a rotation, and now I'm gonna go to a perfect impact position. I want you to look at the tilt of my body. This arm realigns with the club at impact. The back of the hand will go towards the target, that squares the face. The trail arm will be bent, and now I can smash the golf ball and compress it. Look at this impact position. See how the tilt of my body? I want you to really pay attention to the tilt, all right? Now, so the conventional golf swing has you do this. Let me show you with the single plane swing. We set up like this. We set up with tilt. Why? Because I can realign this arm. Now I have this alignment that I need when I start with. Not only do I have this alignment, now I'm on this alignment where I'm gonna impact. So I'm basically setting up for impact. The entire setup starts here. Now watch what happens. I'm gonna take the club back and I'm gonna leverage it. Leverage it means I'm gonna put it in a position to produce speed. I come down on my swing and I return it back to the impact plane. And I can go right back to that tilted position. Here is address, I'm gonna go right to impact. Watch how similar. Impact. Address, impact. It's the exact same tilt of my body. It's just the lower body going to the left side. That's all it is. So, in other words, I have simplified. I didn't do it. Mo Nover discovered this. He simplified and showed me that if you start like this, all you got to is leverage the club and bring it right back down, and you can hit a golf ball. And then you just release that. So it's the most biomechanical, efficient way to get to impact. Now let me show you a little bit about swing plane. When I do this on a single plane, I'm gonna show you how that impact plane is everywhere in the swing. So I want you to imagine for a minute, if you guys can do this, give me a thumbs up. Show me that you can see the plane of this golf club, okay? So you see the plane of the club. It's that angle of the club. It's the way the club is designed. It's on a plane, it's on an angle. Okay, everybody see that? Now watch when I go back. When I take the club up to that top position, do you see that that angle is the exact same as that angle? It's the same plane. And then when I come down, it's the same plane. And then when I go to impact, guess what? Same plane. So this club is always on the plane. Up and down. And guess what? It's even crazier. It's even on the same plane here, on the finish. So it's on a single plane. Now, this is what's so common sense about it, because this is the absolute most natural way to take this golf club and hit that object on the ground. And every mistake that you've had, every problem that you've ever had in your golf swing has evolved from hanging your arms down here and being taught that hang the arms below and have two angles, right? That's all your problems. And now you can solve those problems. All right, so that's the single plane swing. If you guys have some questions, chunk them in the chat there. I'll answer them here in a minute. Now, here's the thing for you. I want to walk you through what I call my magic formula. If you came to my academy today and you took a lesson from me, I'm going to basically walk you through my magic formula. And this will solve every single golf swing problem. I had a conversation today with a couple of students that came through, and they're always trying to fix their swing. They're doing the play the whack-a-mole thing, right? Have a problem, try to fix it. You never have to do that. Every swing problem can be fixed with one thing: correct mechanics, right? Sounds simple. I'm gonna show you exactly what that is. So the very first thing to learn the single plane swing is, one, learn the address and grip. Now, you may have heard something similar to this before, but I bet they told you to learn grip and address. See, in the conventional world, they teach you to grip the club and then address. I don't teach that. Why? Because I'm concerned about you getting to impact. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna teach you to put your body into a address position, then I'm gonna teach you how to grip it. Because what do I care about? Impact, right? I want you to make sure your body's in a position to get to impact, and then it makes it easy to put your hands on the golf club. I want your hands to be related to impact, not some manufactured thing that you got to figure out how to get to impact with. Does that make sense? So I teach you address and then grip, which is common sense, right? I'm teaching you how to get to impact. And the grip is not primary to me. Your body position is primary because your hands and shoulders are related to your position of your body. So that's the first thing, right? Okay, second thing. I'm going to teach you the positions. I'm going to teach you the positions of motion. I'll explain this more in a minute. But there's certain positions I want you to learn. And it's really all those positions I showed you that put the club on plane. So I'm going to teach you address and grip. I'm going to teach you the position of getting the club on plane. I'm going to teach you how to come down, return the club to plane, and then release it back to the plane. So I'm going to teach you the positions of the swing. Now, and actually there are 6 positions, 1 through 6. The third thing I'm going to teach you is once you know the positions, I'm going to teach you how to sequence those positions. Sequence. Sequence would be adding motion to the positions, right? But there's a thing in biomechanics that you can't do. You can't add motion to things that are all moving. If everything's moving, you can't add a sequence to it. Nothing, if it all moves at the same speed, there is no sequence, right? So in order to sequence motion, get your body into motion, I have to hold certain things still and certain things then can move. It's called putting the brakes. So in order to sequence your body, I've got to teach you what I call the brakes. Let me explain that for a minute. Watch when I make this backswing motion. I start with my address and grip position. And when I turn into the backswing, my trail leg is not going to move. Now I'm going to rotate around it. See how my trail leg stayed still? It's a brace. Okay? So in other words, my trail leg is holding still as I turn around it. And what happens is, and it's just biomechanics, what happens is it creates a limit. The limit is I can only go so far, right? I can only turn so far because my leg won't let me go that far. If I keep the foot on the ground and I have my trail leg in position, I have a biomechanical limit. It's called a range of motion limit. Okay, watch the downswing. So now when I stabilize the body, look at my lead leg, my foot has a rotation. It's a reason that position matters. My leg stabilizes, slightly flexed. And now when I look, I have another limit. I can only go so far. My pelvis can only turn so far. When my foot's on the ground, I have another rotational limit. So you'd have to say to me now, the sequence of the golf swing is built around rotational limits of the body. And I want to throw a concept at you that you probably have never heard before. If I put you in the correct positions and I teach you how to stabilize the part of the body that you need to stabilize, the swing will come out of you. It's already inside of you because you have natural motion in your body. And so that swing, all you have to do is learn how to get in positions and then hold certain things still. And it's as simple as this. Hold the trail leg still, stabilize the lead leg, hold it still, and then turn the body. That's really what the swing is. But what happens to people is they lift the body, they lift their feet, they get too much rotation, and they never create the limits. They never create the brakes. And so they never learn how to sequence. And then they lose speed. How many of you guys want more speed? Give me a thumbs up, right? It's one of the things I hear all the time, I want more speed. Speed is not from swinging harder. Speed is from proper sequence. So the next phase of this is speed. Now, when I have the proper sequence and I teach you how to stop the right part of the body, I can add speed and I can have you hit it really hard. If you're having trouble with speed, it's because somewhere in here positions are off, you can't stabilize with the brakes, you can't sequence, and you can't add any acceleration. Okay, now that's my formula. There is never a time when I teach anybody, the 4 people I taught today, the people that come to our golf schools, if I see you online, that I do not run you through the process of my formula. This solves every single swing problem you have because you come in here, I'm like, okay, how's your address and grip? Good. Okay, got a good address and grip. Now, let's check all your positions. Oh, maybe I'll find a problem, maybe I don't. And I can find every single problem you have right there because I'm teaching you from a causal, what is causing your problem perspective. because it's all right there in that formula. But let me show you something that you've learned. And this is where I know you can relate to this. If I was going to teach you how to dance, all right? Some of you may have learned how to dance. Wouldn't I teach you? I wouldn't say go dance. I wouldn't show you the dance and go do that, because you'd never be able to dance. What I would do is I'd say, okay, how do you stand? What's the step 1? What's step 2? What's step 3, right? I'm going to teach you how to stand. I'm going to teach you each step of the dance. I'm going to put the dance into a sequence. Then once you put those sequence into a speed, you can dance. If I was going to teach you how to play piano, what would I do? I would teach you how to sit and put your hands on the piano, position, address. I'm going to teach you the notes, the positions of the notes and the chords. I'm going to put those positions and notes and chords into a sequence, and you add speed to that, you have a music, you have a song, right? This is not my magic formula. This is the magic formula for learning anything correctly. But here's what you did in golf. If you're like me, or 99.9% of all golfers in the world, you learned exactly backwards. What you did is somebody gave you a golf club, and you ran right out to the golf course or the range, and you started swinging, adding speed. And you learned golf just like this. Add speed, try to figure out the sequence. Oh, I don't have any good positions. And then at some point you went back and took a lesson and said, I got this really crappy swing. I never really figured it out. And I got all this sequencing going on. I have no idea how to do this. Everybody learns that way. Everybody learns golf backwards. And I'm telling people that we have to start learning in this direction, because if we not only learn in this direction, but also practice in this direction. I am very good at hitting a golf ball. I'm probably one of the best you'll ever see at hitting a golf ball. If I have a problem in my swing, I check my address and grip, I check my positions, I check my sequence, and I go add speed, and it solves it every single time. I never have a problem. I solve it in literally moments by doing that. So if you guys are willing to just change the way you've done this, not only with your swing, with a single plane, not only change the way you do things, right, which is a simpler way, but you also start following a systematic process of the way you do it, you can change the way you play golf forever. And you don't ever have to go struggle anymore. You can stop watching everybody, including me, on YouTube. You can just follow the formula and stay playing great golf for the rest of your life. That's my mission for you, by the way. I've been doing this for 30 years, and this is the culmination of 30 years of work helping. How many thousand golfers, Scott, have we taught in the world? We had a best-selling DVD called Single Point Solution in 2010. We sold 1 million copies of it. So millions of people around the world have been doing this. I'm showing you now the absolute best formula to do it. And by the way, I want to show you my 30-day training program. But my team asked me to basically put together, a year and a half ago, my team came to me and they said, Todd, you've been teaching this amazing way for so long. Is there a way we can do this online and teach people online your process? Because people come to our schools, we teach them the process. People around the world fly in from everywhere to learn our processes. Because really all structured training is a process. You don't come here to have me fix you. You come here to me to teach you a process where you can go fix yourself. That's what you want, right? So we have people from around the world. I've been doing this for 25 years. My team said, Todd, will you put together an online program? What's it going to look like? And I'm like, guys, it's going to take 30 days. I need 30 days of helping people learn this because I have to do this. So what we're going to do is I do a 30-day program every month. I do it at the beginning of the month. I do a 30-day program. Now, let me tell you why I laid it out this way. I want to coach with you. I want to be working this with you. Everybody that's in the program every single month goes through the program at the same rate. That way, we all have the same questions. We're all experiencing the same thing. It makes for a better learning experience and it makes for a better coaching experience. So let's talk about week one. Week one in the program is, of course, the foundation. The foundation. Now, one thing I left out of my formula for you guys is that we have to have repetition, reps. You cannot learn anything without doing it. The way you learn is from doing. You can watch me talk about it all day long. You can watch all my videos. You'll never learn a thing unless you do it yourself. So we not only have to teach you the address and grip, we have to get you experiencing it with repetitions. Week two, we go through the positions. So we teach you the position of the swing. Now, remember, the key positions of the swing are where the brakes are being built. If you're in good positions, just like my backswing, I have to be in a good position because that position of my trail leg allows me to stop it. If I don't have a good position of my trail leg, I won't get the braking system, then I can't make a downswing. So I have to hit the key positions. That's what we do in week 2. So what do you think we do in week 3, right? Sequence. We start sequencing. Week 3 is all about sequencing. All right, so now if I have you sequenced, going through the process, we have certain drills and things we do to help you sequence. Now in week 4, I have you add speed. I give you, and here's how I do this. Here's how I deliver this to you. So the next question is, okay, Todd, I live in the UK. I live in California. I live in Montana. How are you gonna deliver this to me? So the most important thing I can do for you is keep you accountable to the training. I cannot let you work on speed when you're not ready because you haven't hit the positions right? So I don't want you to get ahead of the program. So I give you a daily module that's delivered to you every single day. In the morning, the module opens up for you and you train that. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes and you train that module. Here's an example module. And you train that module. Now, there's a video that goes with it and then you train it. Here's the thing about the modules. If you miss a day or two, it's not a big deal. You can go back and train them. One thing I recommend is you do it twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. If you're one of those people that can't take 30 days and not go play a bunch of golf, I want you to make sure that you end your day after you've played a round of golf with that daily training module. Because there's one thing I need to mention about this. Absolutely everything I'm teaching you here is based in science and neuroscience. And I don't get into a lot of this because people are like, oh, here we go again, all this science stuff. But what's happening in your body and your brain is we're trying to reconnect, we're trying to build neurological patterns. If you're gonna change your swing, we gotta change the way your body connects to your mind and your brain. And the only way I can do that is through repetition. And the only way you can do that is through experience. Well, the more experiences you have doing it correctly, the more you learn. If you go learn the module and then go do it incorrectly on the golf course, and then you come back, I don't want you going to bed because sleep is where we learn, our body processes a lot of information. I want you to make sure you have that module in your programming before you sleep. So I'd recommend that the modules are done both morning and the evening. The second thing I want you to understand is that we give you support throughout the program. We are with you, coaching you throughout the program. So inside our Single Plane Academy where the program is hosted, we coach you in the program. And the coaches are there. We have a chat. You can go in there and post pictures. We have people posting pictures of their dress position, showing their backswing, their playing positions. We're coaching with you in the program. So we're coaching you along the way. And then one of the most important things for me is that we do our Zoom calls with you once a week. The coaches are on live with you. You can join the Zoom once a week and ask the questions, and we're all going through the process at the same time. So this is a fully integrated coaching program for you to learn the single plane swing. Now, let me tell you what this is gonna cost. And look, we have programs in our Single Plane University that cost over $1,000 a piece, but I know all of you, this is a very introductory program. So the program itself is $649 value. The daily accountability and the stuff we deliver to you is another $349 value. And the live coaching, that's getting me in here to spend my hours with you and the coaches in here. The most expensive thing is $1,000 value. So almost $2,000 in value. And that investment for you, we're only gonna charge you $297 for that investment. And here's the thing about it. If you go through this program for 30 days and you don't absolutely love the program, I will give you 100% of your money back. That's how much I believe this program will change your life. And here's a little added bonus to it. Of course, after you learn how to add speed, I wanted to give it to you a little bonus, which is my Power Generation Masterclass. This is how you take those fundamentals and learn the difference between power and speed, how you can get more speed out of your golf swing. I'm gonna give you that, it's a $500 value. I'm gonna give that to you as well for that $297. Here's what you get in that Power Generation Masterclass. There is a difference between power and speed. You learn that when you start learning the braking system, how things are stopping and things are accelerating. I go through that more in the class. How the lower body is a key to speed, but not the generator of the speed. how to maintain and build more speed, and how to increase more speed. That's how, because once you get to the speed part of your class, you're gonna want more. I know you will. Now, here's my special thing for you tonight, and I only do this for you. How many people we have on tonight, by the way?
Let's see, we're at about 350.
Okay. There's over 300 people on tonight, right? And generally we get between 300 and 500 people on these programs. It's pretty average. What I'm gonna do for anybody on the program tonight, if you're gonna pay the $297 and join us for the July class of single plane 30, I'm gonna give you $300 worth of our product. And here's what they are. What you're seeing on the ground here is our alignment ball position trainer. This alignment ball position trainer is key to us getting the ball position correct, the alignment correct, and our foot position correct. So this is, every time that I practice and train, this is on the ground. Let me explain something about this. And again, I'll get into a little science with this. The second product that I want to give you is our Feeling Greatness Training Club. This has a grip that helps you learn the address and the hand position. The shaft is painted in a particular way that helps you get the proper tilt of the body. And then it gets you the trail hand in the proper position. So it teaches you the address and grip. That's two of the products, and I have one more that I want to give you. But let me show you something about why I want these training aids in your hands. When I set up and I'm in my address position, here's what people don't understand about learning, is when I set up like this and I stand here, and I'm not going to even move. I'm going to stand in a perfect single plane address. I'm learning. I'm just staring at that golf ball and I'm learning. Well, how can I be learning if I'm not doing anything? Because your brain, your subconscious, is picking up on cues. It's picking up on where my hand is. It's picking up on what my body feels like. It's picking up on what I see. It's picking up on how I feel. It's picking up on my foot, how it feels. Where's my weight? Where's my pressure? You see, you're always learning. Your body is picking up cues on things. It's called proprioception. When I take the club back, my body is feeling where my arms are. It's feeling where I am in space. It's feeling my head position. So there's two things I want you to know about this. Number one, you should be scared right now because you're always learning. You should say, I don't ever want to do anything incorrectly. You're right. You want to make sure you're practicing correctly. And number two is, you got to be it's very important on how you practice. So these training aids that I'm giving to you, I'm going to give them to you free tonight. If you'll join the program, I'll ship them to you just for the cost of shipping. It's like 15 bucks. I will send these to you for free for tonight only. This goes away after tonight's program. But these things teach you just by having them in your hand, by using them on the ground. These things teach you. The third one is the single plane trainer. Watch this. This has the same grip as this training club has on it. Look what happens when I grip this. See how it creates a lead side relationship? Well, this is a plane relationship because watch this. When I hold this against my body and I take it back, it goes right onto plane. And then watch this, when I come back down, it returns me to impact. So this relationship right here is the exact single plane relationship. This teaches you, it's called the single plane trainer. It teaches you the exact way to swing on plane. This is a great training tool that helps you feel the plane. So all these training aids are to help you, your proprioception, feel and learn the motion of the single plane swing. I designed these specifically to train myself what Mo Norman was teaching me. Matter of fact, I always tell my team that I didn't build these training aids for you guys. I built them for myself so I could learn Mo's swing as quick as possible. That's what these were built for. I built these many years ago. I'm willing to give these to you for the $297 only tonight if you enroll. So that saves you a bunch of money for tonight at all. And again, I'm gonna give you a 100% guarantee if you don't love the program. Let's go through this one more time. Here's tonight's offer. You have the Single Plane 30 program, a $2,000 value, the Power Generation Masterclass, $497 value. I'm gonna give you the training aids, a $420 value. All this is almost $3,000 if you actually look at what we charge this in retail price terms. I'm gonna give you it for 297 bucks. That's only the deal for tonight because number one, I always reward people who take action. And you took action to be on tonight's program. If you're still on tonight, you're still watching this program, this could change your life because it changed mine, and I'm here to help you change your life as well because I want this to be the last golf lesson that you ever need, and I want you to start training correctly and practicing correctly. You will thank me after the program, I promise you. And I know we got a giveaway. Do you want to do the giveaway?
We got some questions.
Okay. All right, let's do some questions real quick. All right, here's the first question. from Frank, I have back pain, will this help? I kind of covered that a little while ago, but let's talk about how the single plane swing saves your back. When you guys have learned the conventional swing, how many of you, by the way, look in the chat for a second, how many of you guys have back pain? 50% of golfers have back pain at some point in their lives. 50%. That's a statistic, you can look it up, it might be more than 50%. It's a little over 50% of golfers who play golf. It includes tour players as well. So half of golfers that play the game of golf will experience some sort of pain in their back. And what that comes from is what I call that one mistake. So when you set up conventionally, you're too close to the ball. And when you do that and you swing the club, your body has to lift. And so when you lift, and the lift isn't the problem, the lift as you go down isn't the problem, it's the turning while you're lifting, because that's called shear. So you compress and then you turn, and it creates stress in your back. Some people experience it in their musculature of their back. Some people it's actually in their back, in the bones of the lower back, but you experience pain. So the way the single plane swing alleviates that is we're starting, and our body actually goes down and it stays there. And so what happens is we still have rotation. We just don't have the compression. When you eliminate the compression, you eliminate the shear. So you always have turn in a golf swing. You got to eliminate the upward motion of the body, and we do that with a single plane swing. So we're saving backs. I want to show you something else though as well. One of the strongest parts of your body is your lead leg, your legs. When the single plane swing strikes the golf ball, we strike a golf ball into a stable lead leg. It's bent. Now it's not bent where it's unstable. It's like if you just step into your shoe, it stops the leg. And notice the bending of the leg. What that does is that leg now, the strongest part of your body, is what's stable when I swing. So this is where I feel the pressure of my hit. I don't feel it in my back. It's right here. In the conventional swing, this leg straightens. Well, when the leg straightens, see how it pushes up? That's the compression. So when you see people do this, they're compressing their back. We don't do that. We hit into a stable leg like this, and notice my spine, it stays right there, no compression. So the lead leg and the way the single plane swing keeps your back from compressing is why we save backs.
One question, Zem wants to see the SP30 week 1 agenda. You pull that up?
You go back to the week 1.
Do we have that on a slide? Yeah. I can put it on this whiteboard. Are you just throwing it in the chat?
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, somebody wanted the agenda, you can put it in there. Are all the classes live? You get a training module, it is not live. It's a module that has a recorded video on it every single day. Once a week, we go live with you to answer questions. Every Monday, we go live with you to start the next week and to wrap up the previous week. So only one session a week is live. Now, I'm one of those guys in my studio here. I pop in here all the time and do live stuff all the time. So there'll be plenty of interaction with the coaches, and you can always go into the coaching where there's live coaches in the coach's corner of the class and talk to a coach live. Oh, here's the winner. By the way, let me explain this. So in the level 3 membership is where you can send videos and work directly with the coaches here at Graves Golf. And we do this for a year. It costs $999, $1,000 for the year to work with our coaches. We're giving one away tonight to Enrique Urena. I think I know Enrique, don't we?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he sounds familiar. So Enrique, congratulations. That's $1,000 value. You get to work with our coaches for a year. Congratulations on that. Okay, let's go through the offer one more time. We have, guys, join this tonight because you get the training aids. And we only do this the night that we do the show. By the way, we'll show this again. We're gonna play this show tomorrow, and we're gonna play this for the next week, but none of the guys that watch this next week, if that's you, will not get the training aids for free. So you get the single plane 30 course, you get the fast action bonuses, including the training aids, you get me coaching you through the program for $297. So this is what we're offering just tonight only for the class. And by the way, last month we had a couple hundred people in the class. We're averaging about 200. I try to limit to 200 because I don't want to send out 200 free training aids, quite frankly. Where is the ball placement for hybrids and fairway woods when hitting off the ground? Okay, guys, look, this is the perfect way to look at this training. I'll grab a hybrid here. Let me explain ball position really fast. when I was hitting balls with Mo, now here's the greatest ball striker in the world hitting golf balls. And I was lucky enough to play hundreds of rounds with him and hit balls with him many times. I had every question in the world for him. And I asked him the question, where's the ball position, Mo? And he said, it never moves. He never moves ball position. But I wanted to show you what he's actually doing. Because I took hours and hours of videos of him hitting balls. I studied every nuance. I'm probably the only guy that took a picture underneath between his legs. I swear to God, I got a picture between Mo's legs. I hate to admit that. But here we go. So the ball's gonna stay in the same place, but watch what happens. So on the trainer, we have this spot called iron ball position. It's right here, okay? That's the position of the ball. I'm gonna put my lead foot. My lead foot's not gonna move. If I was gonna hit a wedge, I want you to look at my stance. See how narrow my stance is? So there's a wedge position of my body. Now, you'll notice the ball is almost in the center, right? So if I sit up with a wedge, it looks pretty much centered, okay? Now watch this. I'm gonna grab a 7-iron. I'm not gonna move the ball. I'm not gonna move my lead foot. So ball and the lead foot are still the same, but my stance is gonna widen. So I'm gonna go from wedge, watch my stance, it's gonna widen. Now, watch when I did that. See my wedge stance? Watch when I go to 7, watch this shoulder, it goes back. The shoulder goes back. So in other words, the ball moved forward relative to my shoulder. But I didn't move it. You see, Mo didn't move the ball, he moved his body. And so every time I widen my stance, the ball goes further forward. See that? Driver, look how far forward the ball is now. So, of course, the ball's not moving, but I am moving relative to the ball, which puts it more forward relative to my body. So when I grab this hybrid, it's really not about moving the ball position forward. It's about having a wide enough stance. See, there's a hybrid stance. Look how forward it is now. It's just inside by my logo, right? Where my wedge was like this. My wedge is pretty far back. The hybrid's back here. And now it allows you to barely hit the ball at the bottom of the swing. It might take a slight divot, but very, very shallow, versus a wedge that has more shaft lean. Does that make sense? So I'm really not moving the ball too much. Now when I hit a driver, I have it on a tee, so it's up forward a little bit. There's actually a spot here, driver ball position, because you're launching a driver, it's on a tee. But all the shots that I hit, that's why I built this trainer, because I want you to understand that it's not about moving the ball, it's just about adjusting your foot position, right foot. Really, Ron. So Ron Lucero, he qualified for the Veterans Golf Association. That's awesome. Keep us posted on that, Ron. Let us know how you do. When is that? Via YouTube. Is there a drill I can use inside my home for practicing bottoming out my irons in exactly the same spot for improved contact? I chunk and duff a lot. Okay. Here we go. You guys always make me do this. I love it. I love it. All right, read the problem again to me.
Hold on. Is there a drill I can use inside my home to practice bottoming out my irons in exactly the same spot?
When people ask me for drills, they're asking for quick fixes. I don't do quick fixes, but I'm going to solve your problem. So I want a solution. Let me read it again. I want a solution. I'm going to rephrase your question. I want a solution for improved contact. I chunk and duff a lot. Okay, I want a solution for that. 1. How is your address and grip? Okay, so I'm going to solve your problem. Address and grip, perfect, great. Check that off. All right, let's talk about your positions. 2. How's your position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I'm saying 6 positions because those are checkpoints in the swing. How's your position? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to check every position on the video. I'm going to watch you swing. I'm going to look at 6 checkpoints. How are you doing? Are these all good? Okay, great. 3, how's your sequence? In other words, are you keeping your lead knee stable? Is your trail foot on the ground? I'm going to check your braking system, okay? But my point to this is I'm not going to quick fix you. I won't ever do that. But what I will do is I will find your exact problem in my formula and I will solve your problem. You see, you've got to stop trying to fix chunking the golf ball, because chunking the golf ball is a cause of something in the formula. It's a problem here, it's a problem here, it's a problem, it's somewhere in there, right? And I don't want to guess, and nor do you. You want to stop guessing, and you want to do exactly what your fix is, because don't play whack-a-mole with your golf swings. I've done that, everybody's done that. You're going to chase chunking it, you're going to start hitting it thin, who knows what's going to happen, right? Don't do that. Here's another one. Can you demonstrate the complete follow through from up the line where we can clearly see the wrists and arms up the line, okay?
Head towards the camera.
Like this? Okay. I want you to watch what happens to the club face here. So, impact, extension down the line. So that club face will basically be straight up. Then it goes, look at the club face, it'll go back to the plane and the shaft back to the plane. If the ball was here, the shaft will be right back to the plane, right pointing right at the ball. Okay, and look at the extension of my arm. Okay, look at arm across the chest, and there's the finish. So it looks like this, right? There's the finish. But when I'm going through impact, that trail foot stays on the ground. The reason the foot's on the ground is because the leg rotates. This is biomechanics, guys. The leg rotates internally. Internal rotation slows the pelvis, decelerates the pelvis. You want to deaccelerate the pelvis so you can accelerate upper body. So we want deacceleration for acceleration. That's what's happening. That's why the stability in the lower body does what it does. I don't know if that helped or not, but. All right. I guess we're going to get ready to wrap up the show, guys, but here's the deal. Oh, we got one more?
We can do a few more questions if you want.
Okay.
Next slide.
Okay. Go back to that YouTube question. Go back to the YouTube question. Here's a YouTube from Kyle. Would it be more efficient to start with your weight forward at address and have the club directly behind the ball at your setup and then do everything that you're talking about and strike the ball? I asked Mo Norman this exact question. Now, I didn't really think it would be more effective because we have to put the body in a position to produce speed. We have to leverage the golf club. If I started with my weight left, I've got to get it back to the right side. So there's quite a bit of motion that has to happen for me to stabilize, produce leverage, and then accelerate. So actually Mo did the exact opposite. He didn't have his weight on his right side, but he started the club back. Now, why did he do this? Because this was the most effective way. He eliminated movement. If I start the club here, the club literally the right shoulder is already going up and down. He eliminated about a foot of turn of the body. He discovered just the most genius way. So in other words, it's not really about it's really about position of the tilt, leverage, and then compression. It's really not about starting next to the ball. It really isn't about it. It's about the most efficient way to leverage the club and then come down back to the plane. Okay, backswing. I think Eric asked this in the last Zoom we did. He's still messing with that right arm. Okay, here we go. Okay, when I start the arm, coming close to the camera, look at the arm. It's not extended. This is out of flexion, right? Sunny side up, okay? Hand is a little bit rotated. Okay, now watch. I'm gonna go back. Look at my arm as I go back. It moves in. Okay, it's not extended, it moves in. Look at my shoulder. See, my shoulder is hyperextended there in flexion. You don't want the shoulder in flexion. Now, I can go radial. Watch this hand, it goes radial. This is called radial deviation, by the way. This is ulnar, this is radial. You're going ulnar, radial, ulnar. That's what you do. That's the simplest motion anatomically of the hand. So I'm going ulnar, radial, ulnar. Watch my right arm. Fold, down. That's the most effective, efficient way, least amount of rotation of the body to get the club square. And by the way, that's what squares the face. Every time it squares the face. Let me show you guys a little science. How many people we still got on the show?
I got 175 on my count, so
106. So
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go into a little detail biomechanics and then we'll wrap up tonight. Oh, and it's perfect because this question is about the lead hand grip. The question is, can you talk about lead hand grip heard the analogy of wrapping hand around a grip similar to picking up a suitcase. I don't know about that. But here, I mean, I don't pick up a suitcase like that. Let me talk about lead hand grip. It's biomechanics, guys. Watch this. If you're still watching this, do this with me, because I'm gonna have you experience this so you understand this. If I stand straight up, so my spine is straight up, and I take my arm and I put, this is called flexion. If I put my arm into flexion, my shoulder moves forward, and like I'm gonna shake your hand straight out, put my arm in flexion. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the range of motion of my arm. So look at my hand, my thumb is like straight up and down. I'm gonna rotate this direction. I can rotate the back of my hand to the ground, that's my max rotation. And I'm gonna rotate the other direction, and I can go my thumb to the ground. It's about 270 degrees of total rotation of the arm, okay? So watch this. I'm gonna put my body into a tilt, a slight tilt, 15, 16 degrees. I'll put my arm back into flexion, okay? Now I'm gonna do the same thing. I can't quite go as far, and I can go a little more that way. So I've changed the ability of the direction of my hand by putting myself into tilt. Now watch this. So now I'm gonna take my arm, I'm gonna put it in internal rotation. This is called internal rotation. Now I'm gonna keep this arm internally rotated, upper arm. I'm only gonna rotate the forearm. So I'm gonna hold my arm so it doesn't rotate, and now I'm gonna only rotate the forearm, and my back of my hand can only go to the target, to the back of the hand to the target. Okay, so you're asking me why I'm showing you this. Let me show you the golf swing. I start out with tilt. My arm is in flexion. My back of the hand is to the target, okay? When I take a backswing, I internally rotate. The arm internally rotates. As I come down, it stays internally rotated. And when I'm here, the arm is in flexion. It's max range internally rotated. The only thing that can happen is a square club face. I can't go any further than that. Right? So this is why Mo was a genius, because the position he put himself in would only square a face. He could not hit it crooked because of that action right there. Because of the tilt, the flexion, the internal max range position. I'm getting into detail here. But that position, the positions that I teach, you create, the only place to go is hit it straight, right? That's what this is all about. Here's what when you're in single plane 30, here's something I teach people. If you can't walk up and show me your position, for example, if you said, Todd, show me impact, I'll walk in here and I do this. I can show you a perfect impact in a second. Show me a perfect backswing in a second. Show me position 3 in a second. Position 5 in a second. I can show you every single position. I mean, think about it. Why? Because I've programmed them. I know those like the back of my hand. I know it like driving a car. I don't even think about it because I've repeated those positions every single time. When you can do that, you'll play the best golf of your life. That's all I want you to do is train those positions. If you don't train the positions, if you can't do those in slow motion like I just showed you, you will never be able to accelerate those positions in fast motion. I'm telling you right now, you will not be able to do it. And this is why you struggle with golf, because you learned it incorrectly. You should be learning golf through position training, and then take those positions, learn to sequence them, and then add speed. That's what you gotta do. It's the only way to do it. Again, we're gonna wrap up tonight's program. Here's the program. Take advantage of tonight if you're on it. Sign up tonight because you get the free training aids. I'm giving you a bunch of bonuses. I do it for any time I do this live program. That's why I do this live. I only give all this stuff away to the people who join me live because I certainly appreciate you being here tonight, and I appreciate you taking action and listening to what I call the most important golf lesson and the last lesson you're ever gonna need. So please take advantage of the offer. I look forward to helping you with your golf swing. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again in the near future.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But you'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.